Hello, my beautiful Cancer. Come sit with me, because what I am about to share with you today is something you absolutely need to hear. I pulled these cards specifically asking about what someone in your life is hiding from you, and the energy that came through was immediately heavy and complicated. Before we dive deep into this reading, I want you to know that this is a general reading for entertainment purposes, and I am interpreting the energy I see in these cards. Take what resonates with your situation and leave what does not, because only you know your truth. This is not meant to replace professional advice of any kind. What I am picking up is that someone close to you, someone you have trusted, and possibly even built dreams with, has been operating from a place of fear and secrecy. The cards are showing me layers of concealment, but they are also revealing the truth that wants to come to light. Your intuition has been trying to tell you something for a while now, and these cards are going to confirm what you have been sensing. The energy I am feeling involves emotional investment, possibly financial matters, and definitely a relationship dynamic where power has been unbalanced. Let me pull these cards and show you exactly what is being hidden and why you need to know about it now. The first card that came out practically flew from the deck, and it is the Three of Swords. Cancer. When I saw this, my heart immediately sank, because I know this energy all too well. This card shows three swords, piercing through a heart, against a stormy gray sky with rain falling down. And every element here speaks to heartbreak, betrayal, and painful truth. What I am sensing immediately is that whatever is being hidden from you involves emotional pain that someone knew would hurt you deeply, which is why they chose concealment over honesty. The energy of this card is sharp and cutting, like the moment you discover something that shatters your perception of reality. What is really interesting here is that the Three of Swords does not just represent betrayal for the sake of it. It represents necessary pain that leads to clarity and truth. Someone in your life made a calculated decision to keep something from you because they knew it would cause this exact energy, this piercing of your emotional center. I am getting this strong sense that this person justified their secrecy by telling themselves they were protecting you. But in reality, they were protecting themselves from having to face your reaction and the consequences of their actions. The rain symbolizes the cleansing that comes after revelation, the tears that wash away illusions and false securities. What this reveals is that you have been living in a reality constructed partly on omission and selective truth. This person has been curating what you know, controlling the narrative, and maintaining an image that does not match what is actually happening behind the scenes. In practical terms, this might manifest as discovering financial secrets your partner has been keeping, learning about emotional infidelity or inappropriate connections they have maintained, uncovering lies about their past or present circumstances, or realizing that someone has been speaking about you differently behind your back than to your face. What I am picking up is that there have been signs, small inconsistencies, that your intuitive Cancer nature noticed, but perhaps you talked yourself out of pursuing. Maybe their phone habits changed. Maybe money became a touchy subject. Maybe they became defensive when you asked simple questions. Or maybe you felt an energetic shift but could not quite name it. The emotional landscape this card reveals is grief mixed with awakening. There is sadness here, but there is also the relief that comes when you finally see clearly after living in fog. What is happening beneath the surface is that your subconscious has been collecting evidence, and your consciousness is finally ready to look at it directly. The guidance here is powerful. The cards want you to know that this pain has a purpose. You are not being hurt randomly or pointlessly. This revelation is a gift wrapped in painful paper, because it is showing you the truth so you can make informed decisions about your life moving forward. You cannot heal what you cannot see, and you cannot protect yourself from dynamics you do not understand. Now, the next card intensifies everything we just saw, and it is the Ten of Swords. Cancer, I am not going to sugarcoat this because you deserve the truth. When this card appeared after the Three of Swords, I knew we were looking at a situation that goes deeper than a single betrayal or one hidden truth. The Ten of Swords shows 10 swords standing upright, with a dark sky except for a sliver of light on the horizon, and this is the card of rock bottom, of complete ending, of total exposure of what was hidden. What struck me when I pulled this is that someone has not just been hiding one thing from you. They have been operating an entire secret reality, parallel to the one you thought you were sharing with them. This is the card that appears when everything comes crashing down at once, when you discover that the betrayal was not isolated but systematic, not accidental but intentional, not recent but ongoing. The energy I am picking up is that this person has been living a double life in some capacity, maintaining different versions of themselves for different audiences, and you are about to see or have recently seen the full picture for the first time. The Ten of Swords is actually one of the most liberating cards in the tarot, despite its brutal imagery, because it represents the end of deception, the moment when nothing more can be hidden, when all the swords are already revealed, so there are no more surprises coming. I am getting this sense that you may have been gaslit or made to feel crazy for your suspicions, told you were overreacting or too sensitive when you questioned inconsistencies, and this card is validation that your intuition was screaming truth at you the entire time. What this reveals is that there has been a power dynamic where someone benefited from you not knowing the full story. Maybe they had financial advantages from your ignorance. Maybe they maintained control through information asymmetry. Maybe they got to have their cake and eat it too by keeping you in the dark about their other commitments or connections. In practical manifestation, this could look like discovering extensive financial deception, like hidden debts or secret accounts, uncovering a long-term affair or emotional involvement with someone else, learning about addiction issues they have been concealing, finding out they have been bad-mouthing you to others while acting loving to your face, or realizing that major life decisions were made based on lies they told you. The psychological insight here is that the Ten of Swords represents the death of the version of reality you thought you were living in. This is not just about them and their secrets anymore. This is about your entire worldview shifting. There is grief here that goes beyond the relationship itself, grief for your own innocence, for the time invested, for the future you imagined that was built on false foundations. But here is what you need to understand, and this is crucial. That sliver of light on the horizon in the Ten of Swords is not there by accident. It represents the dawn that comes after the darkest night, the new beginning that is only possible because the old lie has completely died. You cannot rebuild on a cracked foundation. You have to let it crumble completely so you can build something real and solid. The wisdom here is that this ending, as painful as it is actually setting you free from a situation that was never serving your highest good. But wait. Because the Ten of Cups appeared next, and Cancer, this completely shifted the energy for me. The Ten of Cups shows a rainbow arching across the sky, with cups arranged beautifully. And this is the card of true emotional fulfillment, authentic joy, and relationships built on genuine connection and honesty. What I am sensing immediately is that this card is showing you what you thought you had, what you were trying to create, and what you actually deserve to have in your life. The contrast between the Ten of Swords and the Ten of Cups is telling me that someone has been selling you a fantasy of perfect emotional fulfillment, while simultaneously sabotaging it through their hidden actions and concealed truths. I am getting this strong, intuitive hit that you are someone who deeply values emotional security, family, partnership, and authentic connection, which makes sense because you are a Cancer, and this person knew exactly what mattered to you and used it to keep you invested while they operated in ways that directly contradicted those values. What is really interesting about this card appearing here is that it is showing me two things simultaneously. First, it is revealing what this person has been hiding behind, the image of perfect partnership or family harmony that they presented to the world and to you, while the reality was completely different. They may have posted couple photos while cheating, talked about future plans while making moves that would sabotage them, or presented a united front publicly while being divisive privately. Second, this card is actually a promise from the universe that true emotional fulfillment is available to you, but not in the situation built on lies and secrets. The Ten of Cups in its upright position after cards of betrayal is the universe saying that you deserve the real thing, not the performance of it. In practical terms, this might manifest as realizing that the happy relationship you thought you had was largely your own effort and energy maintaining an illusion while they coasted on your investment. You might recognize that gatherings or social situations where you appeared happy together were actually you doing emotional labor to maintain appearances while feeling increasingly disconnected from the truth. The emotional and psychological insight here is profound. You have been grieving the loss of something you never actually had. The relationship you are mourning existed more in your hopes and their promises than in actual reality. This person has been hiding their true self, their true actions, their true priorities. And what that means is you fell in love with and committed to a version of them that was carefully curated but not authentic. The guidance the cards are offering you here is to recognize that your vision of the Ten of Cups, your desire for genuine emotional fulfillment and authentic partnership, was never wrong or naive. What was wrong was trying to force that vision onto a situation and person who was not capable of or willing to meet you there honestly. The next card that came through is the Six of Pentacles, and when I saw this appear in this reading about what someone is hiding, I immediately understood a whole new dimension of this situation. The Six of Pentacles shows balanced scales with pentacle coins, and this is the card of charity, generosity, power dynamics, and the exchange of resources. What I am picking up is that the person hiding things from you has been controlling resources, whether that is financial, emotional, informational, or social, and they have been positioning themselves as the generous giver while keeping you in a position of receiving or depending on them. The energy I am sensing here is manipulation through generosity, where someone gives you just enough to keep you grateful and obligated, but never enough for you to be truly independent or to see the full picture of what they actually have or what they are actually doing. What this reveals is that part of what is being hidden involves money, resources, or opportunities that you should have equal access to, or at least full knowledge about. I am getting this sense that this person has been making decisions about shared resources without your input, possibly hiding income or assets, or using financial control as a way to maintain power in the relationship. In practical manifestation, this could look like a partner who controls the finances and gives you an allowance while hiding their full income, someone who acts generous with small things to distract from big financial secrets, a person who helps you financially but uses it as leverage to control your choices or dismiss your concerns, or someone who appears charitable and giving to others while being stingy or controlling with you privately. What is really insidious about this energy is that it makes you feel like you should be grateful, like you are being taken care of, when actually you are being managed and controlled. The Six of Pentacles can indicate someone who uses their resources to create dependency or obligation, who gives in ways that keep you indebted rather than empowered. The psychological dimension here is about power and equality in relationships. When someone controls resources and information, they control the dynamic. And what I am sensing is that this person has been very strategic about maintaining that control. They may have discouraged you from financial independence, made you feel incapable of handling matters yourself, or positioned themselves as the responsible one while painting you as irresponsible. The emotional insight is that you may have felt confused about why you feel simultaneously cared for and controlled grateful and resentful, provided for and powerless. That is because the Six of Pentacles in this context represents conditional generosity, giving that comes with strings attached and expectations of submission or silence. The guidance here is to look very carefully at the dynamics in your relationships. Who controls what? Who has access to what information? Are decisions being made jointly or unilaterally? Is generosity being used to avoid accountability or transparency? Now, Cancer. This next card is the one that made everything click into place for me, and it is the Moon. When I pulled this, I actually got chills, because this is the card of illusion, deception, hidden enemies, and things that operate in darkness. The Moon card shows a glowing moon in the sky, with a path winding between two towers leading into mysterious mountains, and every element speaks to confusion, fear, deception, and the difference between what appears to be true and what actually is true. What I am sensing immediately is that this person has been deliberately keeping you in the dark, not just hiding specific facts, but creating an entire atmosphere of confusion and uncertainty where you cannot trust your own perceptions. The Moon is the card of gaslighting, of manipulation through confusion, of making someone doubt their own intuition and reality. I am getting this strong sense that when you have questioned this person or expressed concerns, they have turned it back on you, made you feel crazy, accused you of being paranoid or insecure, or created such elaborate explanations that you end up more confused than you started. What this reveals about what is being hidden is that it is not just one thing, it is a whole system of deception. The Moon appears when someone has been operating in bad faith for a long time, when they have been saying one thing and doing another, when they have been presenting one face to you and being completely different when you are not around. In practical terms, this could manifest as someone who has secret social media accounts or apps you do not know about. A person who tells you they are in one place but is actually somewhere else entirely. Someone who has been having conversations and making plans that directly contradict what they tell you. Or a situation where you keep discovering new layers of lies and realizing you do not actually know this person at all. The path between the towers represents the difficult journey through confusion toward truth, and the fact that this path exists tells us that clarity is possible, even in the midst of fog and deception. The emotional and psychological landscape here is anxiety, confusion, and that awful feeling of not being able to trust your own judgment because someone has been systematically undermining it. You may have felt like you are going crazy, seeing connections that they tell you are not there, feeling suspicious in ways that make you uncomfortable. But Cancer, the Moon is validating that your intuition has been correct. You have been sensing the deception. You have been picking up on the hidden elements. You have been receiving intuitive warnings, and this person has been working overtime to make you dismiss those instincts. The wisdom here is profound, because the Moon is telling you to trust what you feel over what you are told, to honor your intuitive Cancer nature that senses emotional undercurrents, and to understand that someone who needs to operate in darkness and deception is not someone who deserves your light and trust. The Four of Pentacles came next, and this card is showing me exactly why this person has been hiding things from you, what their motivation is, and it all comes down to fear and control. The Four of Pentacles shows pentacles held tightly with completely closed off and protective energy, unwilling to share or let go. What I am picking up immediately is that this person operates from a mindset of scarcity rather than abundance, from fear rather than trust, and from a need to control rather than a willingness to collaborate. The energy I am sensing is that they have been hiding things because they are terrified of losing control, losing resources, losing their position of power, or being exposed as less than what they have presented themselves to be. What this reveals is that their secrecy is not really about you at all. It is about their own insecurities and fears. Someone who holds this tightly to what they have is someone who does not believe there will be more, who does not trust in flow or partnership, who sees relationships as zero-sum games where if you win, they lose. I am getting the sense that this person may come from a background of instability or may have experienced loss that created these rigid patterns of hoarding and controlling. They might have financial anxiety that they have never addressed. They might be operating from old wounds about trust and sharing. Or they might simply be someone who needs to feel in control to feel safe. In practical manifestation, this shows up as someone who is secretive about money, even in committed partnerships, who keeps separate accounts and refuses transparency, who makes unilateral decisions about shared resources, who hoards information that should be communicated, or who is emotionally withholding and refuses to be vulnerable. The Four of Pentacles person gives the minimum, shares the minimum, opens up the minimum, because they are constantly afraid that if they give too much, they will have nothing left. What is really sad about this energy is that by holding so tightly, they actually prevent the flow of genuine connection, abundance, and growth. You cannot receive with closed fists, and you cannot build true partnership with someone who refuses to be open. The psychological insight here is that this person's hiding is not a reflection of your worth or trustworthiness. It is a reflection of their own fear and inability to be in authentic relationship. The emotional landscape for you has probably been feeling shut out, feeling like you are always asking for scraps of attention or information or resources, feeling like you have to prove yourself worthy of basic transparency. The guidance from the cards is that you cannot fix someone else's fear or control issues. You cannot love them into openness. You cannot prove yourself trustworthy enough to earn their honesty, because their withholding is about them, not about you. The Four of Cups appeared next, and Cancer, this is showing me your energy in this situation, and I need you to really hear what this card is telling you. The Four of Cups shows a contemplative scene with 3 cups present and a 4th cup being offered from above, representing emotional withdrawal and missed opportunities. What I am sensing is that you have become emotionally withdrawn, dissatisfied, and closed off because of everything you have been experiencing with this person's deception and hiding. The energy I am picking up is that you have checked out emotionally as a self-protection mechanism. You have stopped being excited about the relationship or situation, and you are sitting in a space of apathy and disillusionment. What is really interesting about this card appearing here is that the universe is trying to offer you something new, a different perspective, a way out, an opportunity for genuine connection. But you are so focused on what you have been dealing with that you are not seeing what else is available. I am getting this sense that you have been so consumed by trying to figure out what is being hidden, trying to make sense of the confusion, trying to fix what is broken, that you have stopped looking at bigger questions like whether this is where you want to be at all, whether this relationship serves your growth, and what else might be possible for you. In practical terms, this might show up as you going through the motions in the relationship without real emotional investment anymore, declining social invitations or opportunities because you are stuck in this drama, ignoring signs or people or situations that could bring genuine joy because you are fixating on what is not working, or staying in emotional paralysis, unable to make decisions because you are overwhelmed. The psychological dimension here is about where you are putting your attention and energy. When we focus solely on what is wrong, we often miss what is right, or what could be right, with different choices. You have been so focused on this person and their secrets that you have made yourself small, dimmed your natural Cancer warmth and openness, and stopped considering your own desires independent of this situation. The emotional insight is that underneath your withdrawal is deep disappointment, not just in this person, but in how things turned out, in your own choices perhaps, in the gap between what you hoped for and what you got. The guidance here is powerful. The cup being offered represents new possibilities, but you have to lift your head and look at it. You have to be willing to consider that maybe the answer is not figuring out all their secrets or fixing this broken dynamic, but rather choosing something completely different for yourself. What would you want if this situation and this person were not in the picture? What brings you joy independent of this drama? Who are you when you are not trying to solve this mystery? Now the Two of Cups appeared, and this completely transformed my understanding of what is really going on here, because this is the card of partnership, mutual attraction, and balanced connection. The Two of Cups shows two ornate cups with a caduceus symbol above them, representing equal exchange, genuine connection, and the coming together of two energies in harmony. What I am picking up is that this card is showing me what you believed you had, what you were promised, what was presented to you at the beginning of this connection. I am getting this sense that this person came in strong with Two of Cups energy, made you feel seen and understood, mirrored your values and desires, love-bombed you with attention and declarations, and created the feeling of soulmate connection or perfect partnership. The energy of the Two of Cups is intoxicating because it feels like coming home, like finally finding someone who gets you. And Cancer, you are someone who deeply craves that kind of emotional intimacy and partnership. What is being revealed here is that part of what this person has been hiding is that the Two of Cups energy was a front, a performance, a way to secure your commitment and investment before showing their true colors. I am sensing that there may have been a dramatic shift at some point. Maybe after you moved in together, after marriage, after a commitment was made, after they felt they had you locked in. And suddenly the person who was so attentive and present became distant and secretive. In practical manifestation, this looks like someone who was your best friend and constant companion during courtship, but became emotionally unavailable after commitment. Someone who made you feel like the center of their universe until they got what they wanted from you, and then you became an afterthought, or a person who presented themselves as your equal partner, but then slowly took more and more control until the balance was completely gone. The caduceus represents healing and balance, but it also represents exchange, and I am getting that this person approached the relationship transactionally rather than from genuine desire for partnership. They calculated what they needed to give to get what they wanted, and once they secured your investment, they stopped performing the Two of Cups energy. The psychological insight here is about future faking and love bombing, where someone creates intense connection and makes big promises about the future to hook you emotionally, and then once you are invested, they cannot or will not deliver on those promises. The emotional landscape this reveals is your confusion about how someone could change so dramatically, your grief over losing the person you thought you fell in love with, and your constant attempts to get back to that Two of Cups feeling you had at the beginning. The guidance here is crucial. The cards want you to understand that who someone is when they are trying to win you is not who they actually are. It is who they can perform being for a limited time to get what they want. The real person is who they are when they think you are not going anywhere, when the mask comes off, when they stop trying. The Two of Wands came through next, and Cancer. This is the card of planning, vision, and decisions about the future, and its appearance here is showing me that you are at a crossroads. The Two of Wands shows a vision of planning and looking toward distant horizons, holding potential and possibility, and this is the moment of choice, the moment of considering possibilities, the moment of deciding which path to take. What I am sensing immediately is that you are being called to make a decision about your future based on the truth you have discovered or are discovering about what has been hidden. The energy I am picking up is that you have two distinct paths ahead of you, and you are being asked to choose with full awareness rather than continuing in the fog of partial information. One path involves staying and trying to rebuild trust with someone who has demonstrated they are not trustworthy, attempting to work through betrayal with someone who has shown you who they are through their concealment and lies. The other path involves choosing yourself, your peace, your truth, and walking away from what is no longer serving you towards something new and unknown, but authentic. What this card reveals is that this decision point is not just about the relationship. It is about your entire life direction and who you want to be. I am getting this sense that you are someone with big dreams and visions for your life. And this situation has been consuming so much of your energy and attention that you have put those dreams on hold. In practical terms, this might manifest as realizing you have turned down job opportunities or relocations because of this relationship, put off education or creative pursuits because of the drama and emotional drain, lost touch with friends or family because this person took up all your bandwidth, or simply stopped dreaming about your own future because you were so focused on trying to save the relationship. The Two of Wands is a card of power and choice, and it is reminding you that you are not powerless in this situation. You have been made to feel powerless by someone's deception and control, but actually, you hold the power to decide what comes next. The psychological insight here is that staying or leaving is not just about the relationship itself. It is about what kind of life you want to live and who you want to become. Every choice we make shapes us, and choosing to stay with someone who has betrayed your trust after full awareness of what they have done shapes you in specific ways, just as choosing to leave and rebuild shapes you differently. Neither choice is easy, but one choice honors your truth and one choice abandons it. The emotional guidance from this card is that you need to get clear on your vision for your life, independent of this person and this situation. What do you actually want? Not what do you want this relationship to be, but what do you want for your own life, your own growth, your own joy? Finally, Cancer, we have the Star. And when this card appeared as the final message in this reading, I actually felt emotional, because this is the card of hope, healing, and divine guidance. The star shows water being poured from 2 vessels with 8 stars in the sky, including 1 large bright star, and this is pure, vulnerable, authentic energy flowing freely. After everything we have seen in this reading, all the betrayal and deception and hidden truths, the star is the universe telling you that you are going to be okay, better than okay actually. You are going to heal and grow and find your way back to yourself. What I am sensing immediately is that this entire painful experience of discovering what was hidden, as devastating as it has been or will be, is actually leading you towards something beautiful and authentic and aligned with your highest good. The star represents hope that is not naive or delusional, but rather hope that comes from deep knowing that the universe has your back and that everything is unfolding for your benefit, even when it does not feel that way. I am getting this strong sense that you are being called to shed the false version of yourself that you had to be in that relationship or situation, to stop performing or shrinking or managing, and to return to your authentic essence. What this reveals is that one of the things that was hidden in this situation was you. Your true self got buried under the weight of trying to make things work with someone who was not being real with you. When we are in relationships with deceptive people, we often lose ourselves trying to solve the puzzle of them, trying to be enough to earn their honesty, trying to prove ourselves worthy of basic respect. In practical manifestation, the star energy shows up as finding your way back to activities and people and pursuits that light you up, reconnecting with your own intuition and inner guidance that got drowned out by gaslighting and confusion, feeling hopeful about your future for the first time in a long time, and starting to see the gifts in the painful experience you went through. The water being poured represents emotional flow and healing, allowing yourself to feel everything fully, rather than numbing or bypassing, and trusting that your emotions will guide you to clarity. The stars represent divine guidance, and that large central star is your North Star, your true direction, the path that is meant for you. the psychological and spiritual dimension here is profound. You are being invited into a journey of deep healing and self-discovery that will ultimately lead you to a much more authentic and fulfilling life than you could have had staying in deception. The guidance from the star is to trust the process, trust your healing journey, and trust that you are being guided towards something better. This card is also encouraging you to be gentle with yourself as you process everything you have learned. Healing is not linear. Some days you will feel strong and clear, and other days you will feel devastated and confused. And all of it is okay, and all of it is part of the journey. You do not need to perform or prove yourself anymore. You just need to be real, be you, and trust that the right people and situations will recognize and honor your light. Cancer. I want to close this reading by reminding you that discovering what someone has been hiding is never easy, but it is always valuable because truth is the foundation of everything real in life. You cannot build genuine happiness on lies and secrets. What these cards have revealed is that someone in your life has been operating from fear, scarcity, and deception, hiding financial matters, emotional truths, their real self, and their actual intentions. They have used control, confusion, and manipulation to maintain power and avoid accountability. But these cards have also revealed your strength, your intuition that has been trying to tell you the truth all along, and your ability to make empowered choices for your future. You are at a crossroads where you get to decide what you will tolerate and what you deserve. The star is promising you that choosing truth, choosing yourself, and choosing authenticity will lead you to healing and hope, and a life that actually aligns with your values and dreams. Trust your instincts, honor your worth, and know that whatever you choose moving forward, you have the universe supporting you in creating a life built on truth rather than illusion. Remember to take what resonates and leave what does not, because this is a general reading, and only you know your specific situation and truth. Thank you so much for being here with me today, and I am sending you so much love and strength as you navigate this challenging but ultimately transformative time.